Here's Moses Moody on the perimeter. As he makes a move towards the basket, his defender Jeremy Grant falls to the floor. Then as the defense slowly collapses in, Trayce Jackson-Davis cuts in, receives the pass, and gets the high percentage dunk. 65-49 was where the score stood at the time, a 16-point lead for the Warriors, and guess how many points out of those 65 were scored by Wardell, Steph, and Curry? The answer is 4. Yeah, guys, a 16-point lead at the half with the flamethrower just chipping in 4 points. That ain't a lie, that ain't a joke, and with the things I've been seeing so far this season, that ain't a surprise. While Steph scoring in the single digits is still a blue moon type of occurrence, there's something different about this Warriors team, and 2024 is making it more apparent than ever. Just like how the league as a whole has noticeably evolved, the greatest dynasty the modern NBA has ever seen is also slowly, but surely, changing before our very eyes.
3 seconds. Shaedon Sharpe to put it up and out, and it's an offensive foul anyway.
Did you know that in 2015, 2016, and all throughout their multiple finals runs till 2019, that although strength in numbers was their slogan, the Warriors didn't have the most productive bench in the West? Take 2016 as an example, when they were 73-9. That season, out of the 15 teams in their conference, their bench was number 13 when it came to actual production. Then, looking at 2017, the year where many pegged them as the best team in NBA history, where they even had ring chasers like David West coming in, the Warriors were still only number 11 when it came to actual production. Well, this season, in 2024, throughout the entire Western Conference, the Golden State Warriors have the number 1 bench in terms of pure production numbers, coming out at a whopping 43 points per game. This is probably the deepest bench that Steph Curry has ever played with, and Mike Dunleavy Jr. is a huge reason why. You see, that Jordan Poole and Chris Paul trade that Dunleavy orchestrated, which sent shockwaves throughout Dub Nation, was absolutely genius. Initially, there was panic, and rightfully so. Trading a 24-year-old potential star for a 38-year-old fading star sounds like self-sabotage. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think the NBA has ever seen a team with championship aspirations make a trade when the age disparity was that big. But so far in 2024, that trade is paying dividends for Golden State. Like, while Jordan Poole is an electrifying guard who can create endless amounts of highlight reels, he's still far too inconsistent and doesn't really get his team going. CP3, on the other hand, although 38, could still score when he wants to, but more than his ability to put the ball into the basket, he's making all the right plays, and whether it's an assist or a hockey assist, he's unlocking his teammates. And this leads me to my next point. And that's the fact that the Warriors have proved they still have a shot at the 2024 championship. I know there's the Celtics and Bucks in the East and the Nuggets in the West, who are all absolute powerhouses. But there's 2 parts to this equation. First off, the Warriors are 12-14 as of today, but that record could have easily been 16-10 if not for a few lucky plays. They're a lot better than what the record shows they are, and that's a fact. Second off, there's still lots of games left for the Warriors to improve. Kuminga, Moody, Brandon, Jackson-Davis, a huge portion of the Warriors' second unit, still have about 2/3 of the season to figure out their game. Like, look at this simple play here by CP3 and Jackson-Davis, for example. It's just a 1-5 pick and roll, but it's something we haven't really seen from the Warriors so far this season. Here's another similar play, but with Curry operating as the ball handler. If Jackson-Davis could really improve in this area and get more minutes, this will completely add a new offensive dimension for the Warriors that'll cause problems. Then there was Kuminga. With each passing game, young JK has been looking more and more comfortable and under control. He's still an athletic beast who can create highlight reels, but more than that, I've been impressed with his ability to stay poised and remain patient when under pressure. So look, the Warriors could have easily been 16-10, and their second unit isn't even 50% developed yet. And on top of that, their starters are figuring it out too. Klay Thompson, as of late, has been making the right plays. Wiggins seems to be back in game shape after being injured over the summer. And Draymond's, I believe he's going to learn from his latest incident. He's losing too much money, credibility, and status as a result of his antics, and just like how Dillon Brooks has toned himself down this season, I see Draymond doing the same thing once he returns, and honestly, he's been shooting the ball well and playing good defense whenever he was on the floor. So, with what we've seen so far, the Warriors have proved they do have the capacity to put themselves into that championship conversation. They might not be title favorites, but hey, many quote-unquote experts were going with the Celtics back in 2022, right? Another aspect the Warriors have proven so far is that their number one enemy is themselves. Time and time again, they've been able to get sizable leads on their opponents. Against the Portland Trail Blazers, for example, they had a 22-point lead at one point, but the game eventually came down to the final minutes. Against the Brooklyn Nets, for example, it was the same story, up 18 at one point, but the game eventually came down to the final minutes once again. This has happened nearly 10 times already this season, and it's because the Warriors are shooting themselves in the foot. One may call it overconfidence or celebrating in their own heads too early, but after these sizable leads, they seem to take their foots off the gas pedals, make sloppy passes, take too many unnecessarily tough shots, and it's proved that they still have lots of work to do in the mental department. Anyway, the last thing the 2022 Warriors have proven so far is that the Splash Brothers are still the Splash Brothers. Like Steph Curry is still absolutely lethal. His ability to shoot tough threes down the stretch with a defender in his face is still second to nobody.
Steph over Cam Thomas. Another three!
And what the heck was this play about? Look at how Steph, in the clutch moment of the game, with 3 white jerseys around him, hits this mid-range, one-handed floating push shot off the glass. Sheesh, guys. While Steph's streak of 268 straight games with a 3 has come to an end, throughout 23 games, the Chef is still averaging 29 points while shooting 47% from the field, 42% from 3, and 94% at the free throw line, with an effective field goal percentage of 60. Klay Thompson, on the other hand, after that 8-game shooting slump, has been turning it on. 30 points against the Clippers, 24 points against the Nets, 28 points against the Trailblazers. For the most part, he's making the right plays now. He's taking the right shots, and outside of a few heat checks, he's letting the game come to him now. And when he plays like that, he's proven that he's still an elite marksman, right up there with the best of them. The NBA, and the Western Conference in particular, has been nuts. As of today, every team 1 through 10 is above 500, with the Warriors being just a tad short of that mark. And what the Warriors have proven is that there's going to be a war to conclude the regular season. Seeds 7 and 8 will be battling with seeds 5 and 6 for those non-play-in spots, and seeds 9 through 11 are all going to be gunning to stay in the playoff race. And with the Warriors slowly figuring things out and making a push, we know one thing is for sure: all hell is going to break loose in the West.